Hi guys, my name is Willy Njeru, and in this conversation we talk about marketing, how marketing impacts us generally, and we have covered before marketing in the business sector. We've tried to look at the challenges and how to solve them, and today I saw it fit to now cross to the other side. Let's try and talk about marketing in the entertainment industry. And today I have Ben Theory from Beat Native tunes, and I thought it fit for to bring him along so that he can help us expound what marketing in the entertainment industry entails. So I want him to introduce himself and tell us about your journey
Yeah.
and yeah, introduce yourself.
Yeah, so where should I start? Like Willie has said by there, first of all, before I even begin by introducing myself, I feel privileged to be hosted by you. This is one thing that we really wanted to have today. Yeah? If you're to talk about the challenges that we had today before we had this podcast going on,
Story for another day,
hey,
but
sorry for another
wow.
day.
Anyway, but
Sometimes evil tries to take our shine, but you outshine them. Yeah, so in short, I'm Benson Dongo Theuri, an artist, a producer. Um, I'm also a project manager in profession. I've been in the entertainment scene for minutes. That is, I don't know where should start.
so I think we can just start by how impactful do you think is marketing to the music industry?
Hey, kusema ukweli, I feel the position where we are in as a country, as a nation, as youths, people who are also enjoying music, people who venture into the music, not only just music as a way of expressing themselves, but also music business. Marketing has become a major, has played a major role in this music industry. I believe right now we've really transitioned from a point where we've crossed over from now that traditional movement or the traditional practices of promoting music, and now we are dwelling wholly and we're dwelling wholly onto social media, and not only our websites that people create, and I feel like right now a vast majority of people are using social media as a form of expression, as a form of business, as entrepreneurs, musicians, and we've seen a lot of artists who have blown up. Looking at Kenya, there's so many artists that have blown up by just putting their music out there, just putting out content. A better example could be like that time where we had the Gengeton music. You'll find that most the initial song that led to a song becoming like a hit song was something that was initially uploaded by a mere instrumental that someone made, or rather just a simplistic content that someone made, and it generated views, generated clicks, generated familiarity and exposure, and that's how we get there. And
True.
those people do get to transition and get some of them who are lucky enough get record deals, and they end up doing the same songs with better quality. So I feel right now where I'm at, marketing is a vital and a really important segment when it comes to music.
Okay, I think you've mentioned about sounds going viral,
Yeah.
especially how TikTok is.
Yeah.
So give me a strategy. If maybe you go viral
Uh-huh.
from TikTok,
Yeah.
how do you monetize that
Uh,
newfound fame? How do you monetize it?
I,
Okay,
I
you've talked about
Mhm.
getting record deals.
Yeah.
What if there's an artist out there? Social media is a platform in itself.
Yeah.
First of all, you have the audience.
Yeah.
How do you monetize that in a way that you can now at least start the journey of sustenance in the music business?
Okay. So let me dial it down before I get to how you monetize it, because I feel like I wouldn't want to give out an advice, or maybe given a perception to someone who might ideally pick out one segment. I want to go in like phases. For me, I feel it will be crucial because I've gone through steps that have made me say, okay, I'm in this channel and this is what I need to do. Okay, let me change. You get to a point where you get a bit more exposure and you're like, oh, this is the next steps. So most people come from a point of lack of information. And something funny that I saw, there's a friend of mine who told me, at this point in time, if you choose to be arrogant, it is the lack of information is based on you. Right now we have all these social media sites and platforms that ideally have free and unbiased information. Like right now unaweza pata maybe I'm a musician, or maybe an instrumentalist. I want to learn guitar. I can find an instrumentalist from Spain who's educating people on probably like their channels, you get, and I am able to grasp as much information. The challenge was, prior to that, people used to, you find yourself in need to pay for these kind of services which were not available anywhere. It's due, you have to use a portal, you need to go physically meet up with a trainer, guitarist. And one thing that really separated that mentality is when we had the COVID pandemic. I like the initiative that people took, which was, you find that I'm an artist, I'm a content creator, and I still want to showcase my talent, and the pact that happened was we lacked that one-on-one touch with our audience, with our fan base, but people got creative, and we used online and virtual concerts. One I think that was done with Softy Soul. They did a Christmas virtual concert, which
yeah.
so many people ideally were able to experience from home, and you still it can curate to something. So the question I ask myself is, how do I get there? The first thing is, you have to start from somewhere. As a child, you learn to crawl, you unasimama kidogo, you get a chance where you can stand, there's a time where you can walk, and then you run. So the first thing you need to do is put your content out there. And one thing that people are afraid of doing is commitment and consecutive, doing something repetitively. That consistency is something that people really shun away from. Mi nasikia mi ni msanii, I need to put like a kangoma pale on TikTok, and I'm expecting people to notice it. But right now you have to take that initiative.
True.
And I said, people used to pay for these services, and it was hectic. And I could put myself in the shoes of a musician who's solely looking into music as a career path, and I'll be like, are you going to spend this much for a service? Still go to a point, you go to you're saying that I need to get around this amount of money so that I can go for a session. Why don't start? People are doing songs over instrumentals, recording with phones. So you need to first put out your content. Second thing is, build a fan base that identifies you as a brand, as a person, as an artist. What do I mean by saying that is, there's no way I can get so many fans and listeners who don't ideally understand who this person is. They don't know what kind of songs I have. And if you look at so many people, so many artists who have made it out there, they have a whole story to tell. They engaged, they got an audience. This audience, it's a way of marketing as well, because if I like something and I push it to you, that's a form of marketing. You put your effort, and then it gets to a point where now people are doing the work for you. So once you've been able to get a fan base, now start engaging them on a more more engaging method, like adopt a story, or maybe give your content something that someone can be able to resonate with. Why am I saying this? Because me as a consumer, I'll listen or look or engage on something that I like, you know. And the reason I'll be following a specific influencer, a specific artist, they have something that I resonate with. And if I like, I'll be sending that thing, I'll be putting it out, I'll be putting your songs on my stories because that's something I like, you know. And once you start getting fans who are, or maybe people that are engaging with them, now start looking at marketing as something that now can be like a branch or maybe a platform that can now raise you more. Start looking now at a more object oriented engagement rather than now putting it out, because already you've created the content.
How impactful is digital in the way and how people share reels? How impactful is it to the promotional process
Okay.
of an artist?
So let me ask you something.
Okay.
When's the last time you saw Citizen?
Citizen.
Yeah,
It's been long.
it's been a minute.
It's
Yeah,
been long. Yeah.
another thing. Let me ask you. When's the last time you sat down at home, switched on your home theater, or rather your system?
Every
Ukeka
day.
KC, ukeka
Every-
Kiss
every
NRG.
day.
Do you do that?
Homeboys always. Akina
Yeah.
homeboys.
Okay.
Homeboys. I'm a homeboys guy.
And how many times do you find yourself going to a store and purchasing a CD for an artist? It's long, you see. There's a narrative that I'm trying to put out.
Okay.
I don't want to say that we've really shifted from that, but what I'm trying to say is there's the traditional media that we've been used to, us as tukiwa toto. Like radio was something that we used to listen to a lot. Right now, smaller percentage of people who are remaining still listen to radio. And if you look at that, it's either when you're heading to work, when you're in your car, in a matatu, either from going to work, or maybe you might find music there. But sitting in the house, kuwasha radio, and you're looking for these stations to listen to, it's a bit hard, to be honest. Yeah, and it's because you're transitioning from that traditional era of content and music to now this digital one, where we are using a lot of social media. We are using a lot of streaming platforms. You have kina Spotify, and people now get to engage a lot on this.
Yes.
And what's the essence of me putting out my songs there and someone is able to use that reel? That reel has a high potential. If it's something that someone relates to, it has a high potential of someone adopting that same instrumental or song, or something that it's
and
out
creating,
there,
videos, short
and maybe
videos.
creating another thing.
Yeah.
And that's something that people need to understand. Right now, we really monetizing that. Look at the example of
You're really monetizing it as artists.
yeah, you can. Like look at let's use X as a X, which was ideally Twitter. Right now, there's that segment where you can monetize through posts and engagement. And because right now we are using a lot of digital media to put out our content, there are things like ads, there are things like clickbait, hashtags, collaborations. Like right now you can do quite a lot, and you can put out a lot of visibility. I believe even for your sessions and these talks that you have, there are certain audios maybe that you use to promote your content, and all these songs. For me as a musician, if I've been using a distributor, I'll get to that point. Yeah, and it's when I was talking now at where you get to a point where you break from now just putting your song out there for the sense of using it, but now putting that monetization mindset that by this thing can bring something to me, and that's the thing I was talking about. You don't afford that position to be where you're ignorant of such things that are available. So if I'm able to use the right distributors, put my music out there, those people like convert royalties for songs that you've put out there.
So even if you have an event, they can kind of come to event. Okay.
I think there's something else I saw that was incorporated by Blankets and Wines. Was right now if you have a concert, and Spotify I believe has now encroached Kenya as a country, and we are getting a lot of engagement with Spotify. For artists, that's a plus. I saw there was a time where they had a Spotify hangout for influencers.
Really?
It was around last year. I'm trying to remember.
So you kind of meet the industry specialist and you gain networks.
Yeah, and the fact that we're having such support from Spotify. There was a point where there were the Blankets and Wines, the previous one that I attended. You could get playlists of artists who are performing on Spotify, and you can see that there's a concert being held by Blankets and Wines, and these are the artists that are there.
Really?
Yeah, and that's something that maybe I haven't heard your music. I'm an upcoming artist, but I have been putting myself out there. I've been doing live gigs, and now I'm getting to like do a show. Through that, you're getting a platform where now people who haven't even streamed your songs can be like, oh, this guy has good songs. Oh, there's a concert happening on Saturday.
True.
I haven't bought a ticket.
True.
And that's by just putting it out on Spotify, you've gotten 2 streams of revenue.